I'm joined now by somebody that only encountered Doctor Who once. However, he's no stranger to our screens, having worked on productions such as The Invisible Man, Star Wars, Bond, but more recently, you might have seen him as the face of Primark. So I'd like to introduce supporting artist Danny at Darcy.
Hi, it's Danny here, Dan Darcy. How are you all? The weather over in San Francisco is absolutely spot on. Fantastic. I'm not missing England. Anyway, I'm here to have a great chat about my experiences on Doctor Who. And it was a funny couple of days down there. We were there probably about 15 hours each day and hardly did anything. We did absolutely BA on the first day and got sent home at 10 o'clock at night. And the next day was virtually the same. In fact, we got so miffed and bored, we drifted off up to the bar and got a bit wrecked. Not very professional, I know, but the tedium just got to us. And then we staggered off into the wrong door and found ourselves in the Top of the Pops show, where they were in our space outfits, and we're dancing to Red Red Wine by UB40. And that was quite a buzz, live, seeing the band. And they were all looking at us thinking, what the bloody hell's just walked through the door here? 5 spacemen. They must have thought we were the Sputnik group. And so things dragged on and on and on. And then the BBC, in their wisdom, someone there thought it'd be a good idea to put a trestle table up outside the studio door and get Peter Davison to sign autographs. So there we were, all grown-up adults. Well, half kids, half adults. But professionals in the same business. And it felt really demeaning to be standing there in a queue, supposedly like a star-struck teenager, for Peter's autograph. Yeah. I was a bit disappointed Lala Ward wasn't down there. I wouldn't have mind queuing up for hers. But as it happens, I felt this is really demeaning. I felt like sitting down next to him and saying, Peter, get up and join the back of the queue and come round and I'll sign one of mine for you. Because we're all in the same game at the end of the day.
If Doctor Who was a slightly strange experience, had you been aware of the show beforehand?
Yeah, I've been watching it since it first aired, way back in the early 60s, I think it was. Yeah, I wouldn't say I was a keen fan then. It just grew on me over the years. So I was chuffed to be on it. It's like getting on one of your favourite shows. It's like at the time, I was doing a lot of work on one of my favourite shows called Who Dares Wins, which was a comedy sketch show for Channel 4. Totally outrageous. Tony Robinson, Jim, it was funny. Jimmy Mulville, Rory McGrath. I mean, they're so funny. They got away with such rude sketches. I think they were one of the first programmes on with Cross Countdown. But I couldn't believe what they were getting away with. So yeah, it is a buzz to be working on a show that you like. But I wasn't expecting so much tedium, because when you watch a show, everything happens so quickly. And that's the buzz and the excitement from the audience perspective. Yeah, go on, get in there, get stuck in, look at it. But the reality of it is there's so much hanging around. And in this particular case, on the second day, I think we went up to the bar a second time and came back down and hid behind the black curtains. Now, I've got to explain to your audience here, the black curtains are surrounding the studio for a reason, because the director doesn't want to give you any sense of the real world. It's all blacked out. So we stood behind there. A couple of them were smoking, a couple of them had tins of drink. All very unprofessional looking back on it. But it was funny in some respects. And there was one guy there called Bob Smythe. Well, he was called Smelly Bob Smythe, but yeah, I didn't think he was. I don't think he was smelly. He was a nice guy. Anyway, director's up in his box looking for us, scouring the studio for non-existent extras. "Where's my extras?" to the loudspeaker. It was all quiet. And Bob said, "We're over here." He said, "Where?" So that's up for us to know, you find out. So I said, "Don't muck about. Show yourselves. Where are you?" And Bob said something like, "Bugger off." And next thing you know, I heard this door open and the clank of feet coming down the stairs. "You sods, where are you? Where are you? Come out." And we came out. He said, "Who told me to bugger off?" And we all looked at each other, and all five of us said, "I did." He said, "No, he didn't. I did." I said, "No, he didn't. I did. And my wife did." He said, "Stop mucking around. We're going to crack on with this now." And for all the time we spent there, 15 hours, I don't know, it seemed like an eternity. The whole thing actually only took about 45 minutes, but it went on till about 11:30 at night. I think the BBC even laid some taxis on for people to get home, which was very rare for them to do that.
So the director you mentioned was Ron Jones. Was he quite up for a bit of banter between yourselves and him? How was he to work with?
Yeah, well, during the first quarter, they kept apologising for the hanging around. He said, "We'll get sorted out soon." He was very apologetic to us all, and it was very good. And he actually said, "If you get too bored, go up to the bar, but soft drinks only," kind of thing. Anyway, but we got to experience his other side, his anger, his wrath, when he couldn't find us.
And that sort of main set, the exterior, obviously it was studio, was the crash spaceship, and it looks quite a big set on camera. Was it actually that big? Do you remember it?
It was a big studio, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I was amazed. I mean, some places, some film things I've been on, like Return of the Jedi, it's an optical illusion. You have a small studio in Elstree, and the art directors, the art painters, they paint the inside interiors of spaceships, and alleyways and hallways that go on forever. It's like a trick of the eyes. You look at it, it's an optical illusion, and it makes the whole studio look twice as big. Yeah, you sort of sometimes you walk into it and put your hand up against it. It doesn't go anywhere. Very clever, very clever. Yeah.
And around a similar sort of time to Doctor Who, am I right in thinking you worked on The Invisible Man?
Yeah, but you couldn't see me. Yeah. Now, we've got a lovely photograph of myself and Jane. We both worked on it together. And it's a lovely, we're all in our period costumes, Victorian costumes, whatever. And because that particular episode was filmed in that period. And we often say, "This is a great photo of the three of us." People say, "Where's the other one?" So the Invisible Man. He's in the middle. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I think that was a BBC production as well. And also Shackleton for the BBC. Yeah, we did quite a lot for the BBC at that time. I was disappointed when they uproots Lock, Stock and Barrel and moved up to Manchester. That was strange because it's an institution. It was there when I was living in Paddington and around that area. And all of a sudden, within a month, all the lorries arrived, as though someone was moving house, and everything was shifted up to Manchester. Yeah. And all that work was gone.
But that hasn't stopped you by any means. I mean, even as recent as a couple of weeks ago, you were on Keith Lemon's Celebrity Juice.
That was very, very funny, very strange. I got it on very short notice without much knowledge about what it was all about. And during the rehearsals, they strapped a couple of grapefruits, one each side of my leg, and they said, "You're going to be celebrity juiced." And I said, "What, am I the celebrity who's being juiced, or am I?" "Oh, no, no." And a couple of girls came out, a couple of young PAs, and they had these carrots around their front, and they were juicing me, if you like, or pegging me, and collecting the juice. And I thought, "Oh, this is fun." So anyway, and I thought that was what was going to happen when it actually got filmed. So about 8:30, I was standing outside, dressed up as a lollipop man, and all of a sudden the stage door opened, and a couple of guys came out. I think one was Jason Orange from Take That. I thought, "Bloody hell, what's he doing?" And he had a carrot on him. And another guy came out, and one went each side, and they were like juicing, if you like, for want of a better expression. And I think Jason Orange was saying something like, "Take that, take that." That was a bit of a laugh. It's I wouldn't say it was the highlight of my career.
No, but that must be the joy of what you do, that every day or every week is something totally different.
Absolutely, yeah. I was a bit disappointed they dropped my dialogue. It wasn't much. They came out and I went, "Whoa, what's occurring?" Which I thought was like the mind of, yeah, and they cut it out. But what the hell, it was fun. It was a bit of a laugh.
And then
Different.
talking of things being varied, a couple of years ago you were the face of Primark, or one of them anyway. That must have been
Yeah,
something totally different to see yourself on billboards, adverts everywhere.
yeah. People around the country, who I don't even know, but they know me from Doctor Who and Return of the Jedi and things like that. And they say, "Hey, Danny, I was in Preston the other day, and I looked up and stacked me. There you were, looking down on me." Oh, really? Oh, I get people from Blackpool and Watford, places all over the country. So yeah, oh, God, how they recognise me? Someone from good old friend from Slough, where I used to live. So it's like I felt well chuffed about that. It's like making something of yourself in your hometown. The boy's done good, kind of thing. Yeah, so it was Primark's Poster Boy 2019. And the whole concept of it was that it was supposed to be trying to impress on the public that anyone can go and shop there, not just youth. So it's like all the photographs were like Chinese, Asian, Indians, disabled people, really old people, young people. And I was honoured to be chosen to represent the youth of Britain. So it was a good laugh. Yeah. Yeah. Norwich was another place that was featured prominently. Yeah. My granddaughter went up there with her boyfriend and she saw it. And I was walking. There was a cardboard cutout of me walking. And they stood behind doing the same walk. It was with a black and white photo. So it was quite good. It's fun. Yeah.
So would you say that is that job perhaps got you the greatest exposure, or is it still Star Wars that you get more recognition from?
Star Wars, I would say, but it did give me a hell of a lot of recognition. And I was really pleased with it. For the sake of whatever it costs, one day's work at King's Cross Studio, very well paid, I may add.
Looking back, is there one sort of particular role or production which really stands out? Either it was most enjoyable to do, or it was iconic. What was the best one, do you think?
Oh, I would say the very early days, the big Hollywood blockbusters, Ragtime with James Cagney. I mean, that was an honour. I played Pinkerton's detective agent. His eyesight was a bit bad, so we had all the balls hanging around our necks, so when he's looking at us, he could read from them. When he walked on stage, we all went, "He's a Yankee Doodle dandy, Yankee Doodle do or die. Yankee Doodle came to London just to make a movie. He's that Yankee Doodle boy." Yeah, he teared up, he welled up. It was really nice, yeah. And again, Victor Victoria was another one. And the art direction was very clever there as well. They had some two studios. When they opened the fire doors from each, they made it, painted a passageway, a Parisian passageway. That's very clever. And I did hear a funny thing on there from Julie Andrews, the lead actor. I can't think, the guy from 77 Trombones. Lovely guy. And he was moaning about something, and she said, "Don't complain, buggers can't be choosers." And I thought, my God, did she really just say that? But yeah, they were two of my favourites. And later on, I mean, I just loved working on Who Dares Wins, those sketches. There's so many of them are so funny, so funny. And how they got away with them. Comedy, you know, I just love comedy. Yeah, I would say they were my highlights. Yeah. I mean, to start off in a business where you admire people from that particular era, like James Cagney, Pat O'Brien, Donald O'Connor, and all of a sudden you find yourself working with them. Actually, it was his last film, James Cagney. Yeah, all of a sudden I found myself working with these people, and James Bond films as well, 3 of those. Never Say Never Again with Sean, but not Bean, the other one, Connery. And what's the other ones? Octopussy and I can't think of the other one. Another come to me in a minute, but Octopussy, the agency phoned up, said, "Danny, have you worked on Octopussy before?" Octopussy? What is this, a blue movie? So I said, no, it's the new James Bond film. I said, oh, in that case, I haven't. But what a lot of the boys and girls used to say when they used to check in for work or the agency phoned up, they would say yes to everything. I said, or no to something. So, have you worked on Octopussy before? You might have done a week on it. So, no, I never worked on it before. I said, right, let's find the studios tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. They say things like, can you fence? Can you parachute? Yeah, of course I can. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Turn up at this airfield tomorrow. You'd say yes or no to anything they said, really, just for a day's work. There's also another thing called iffy chits. Like you turn up on a location and you say to the first assistant or second assistant who's handing out the chits, daily work chits, so you've got 10 left over there. We're on the iffit or the iffy. If he doesn't turn up, can I have his chit? So yeah, there was 1 or 2 other big ones. They just, for the life of me, I should remember them really, but there were some big ones. Yeah, they were the most happiest days. Yeah.
Well, on the note of those obviously very happy days and iconic film stars and films, I think it's an opportune time to say thank you very much for your time, Danny. And it's been an absolute joy to talk to you about some of your work.
I'll see you soon. Yeah.